pushing back against it. This is why patience is, or sabr is bitter. They say sabr is bitter. It's painful. It's effortful. There is a resistance. You're pushing against your impulse. Okay? You're pushing against your impulse. That is patience. Whereas rida is that your impulse is completely subdued. And you are content and pleased with what Allah brings into your life. You completely transcend that. Okay? So Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam resisted the urge to actually ask for the disease to be removed, for the financial loss to be recompensed or whatever. And he pushed against the impulse of being what? Of complaining. Because naturally humans, we love to feel victimized. You wrong a person, you're going to tell the whole community, right? You can make a mistake, then tomorrow everyone is talking about you. Why? Or let's say there's a misunderstanding between you and another person, they feel wronged, then you're receiving so many phone calls. Why did you do this and that? Why did you treat this person like this? Right? Because we humans love to share our burden. We love we love to be victim and start talking about it. So resisting that urge as well is, so one of the worst type of complaint is to complain of Allah, about Allah. To complain about Allah. So when your life changes, unpleasant things happen in your life, we complain. We don't say, oh, Allah did this to me, Allah did that to me. But we'll go to our friend, you know how life is treating me. And behind life is Allah. And it's inside of us. And if we were to be honest, we would see it. If we were really transparent with ourselves, we would see it. I'm not against people going through pain. I'm not against people really feeling that, they're dealing with tough circumstances. But the moment you think you are virtuous and you are good, that's the beginning of your downfall. Literally, humans, we have forces for good and forces for evil. No one is by default good. No one is by default evil. We have people who strive to strengthen the good in them over the evil, and we have people who put their focus on the evil or just leave the whole process and evil will take over. That's what we have. People striving to be good. That's what we have. The moment you feel safe about your goodness, the moment you take it for granted, is the moment actually you are causing so much evil by default around you, and you won't feel it. So it's very important to keep ourselves in check, especially when we go through circumstances and we love, there is sweetness in playing the victim. There is sweetness. And by the way, today's culture celebrates this. Celebrate your grievances. Bring them out. Let the world know about them. I'm not saying don't defend people who are oppressed or disadvantaged, etc. But I would say be careful about the inner trap. Be careful. Be careful. The fact that you are defending some kind of injustice does not guarantee that you are coming from a good place at all. That's another story. Okay. So Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam, his impulses would have been, again, first to ask immediately for the illness to be removed, to complain about his condition, and that would be in an indirect way complaining about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when you complain to people, what's going to happen? Can people change your circumstances? They can't. Let's say I have an illness. I go to my family doctor and I say this and that, this is my condition. Is this complaining about Allah? No, I'm just following the necessary means, cause and effect, to change. But if I go to my mechanic and I tell him, my kidney hurts, couldn't sleep last night, right? What is my mechanic gonna do? So So the thing is, always when you have sweetness about complaining, when you feel drawn to complain about your conditions, you need to look more carefully. Because it might be you are dissatisfied with Allah, but obviously we have a lot of education and a lot of conditioning not to say that explicitly. So what do? We go about it indirectly, we imply it, because we want to let it out somehow.